Okay, I'm back. This is hole number 8, the downhill shot. We're looking at the white and gold fairway. And if you've been paying attention to the South Spring site, you'll know that the gold tee box has been moved back about 50 feet. Way up there, kind of at the top of the hill there, right where you see that blue. It's a really cool shot. I took a couple trees out of the fairway to make it a little bit easier to come down and hit. But I have a question. Here's the drop zone right here. If you go out of bounds. So my question that I am weighing is, we have this kind of dried creek over here. When I originally designed the hole, my hopes were to dam up this creek here. You can see I actually made the dam, try and get it to hold water, and then it would be a nice flooded creek and it would make a really nice OB area. Well, it doesn't hold water because the whole area is just so porous. Anyways, I'm starting to wonder if we should not make that OB. It's just leave it just like it is right now and have it be more of a natural OB. There's a whole lot of vines and little trees and just garbage in there that if someone threw in there, they're probably not going to be able to get a clean putt off anyways. So I'm thinking about that. Let me know your thoughts on it. I do kind of like the idea of this little peninsula here, and it's such a pretty hole. I am totally on the fence about it. So let me know in the comments what you think. Let's see, there's going to be no changes on 9. Number 10, I think that blue is just too hard. So I think what we're probably going to do is it's going to be one of those fairways. I've looked at it multiple ways, but I think it's going to be one of those fairways where blue and gold just have to use the same tee box, because I can't find a way to make the blue shot fair for a backhand only player. So I don't know. I'll be open to suggestions on that. But next, I'm going to go to hole number 11. Okay, this is hole number 11 on the gold, and this, more than any other hole, surprised me as far as scoring goes, because typically when I've played this while I was designing and building it, I was able to get down there pretty easily for a par and occasionally a 4, but this scored as the hardest hole from the golds during the Piney Woods, or not the Piney Woods, during the RCDC weekend out here. It just really surprised me. So I came back out, threw it a couple times on Tuesday, and what I found is that it was just really hard to make the corner and not go OB. It could be that without the leaves, things weren't getting knocked down or what. And even from the white, it was a little bit tough. So here's what I did. Right on this corner here that we're coming up on, we used to have to swing way out wide here, and there was about a 10-foot gap. And what I've done now, you can see the 2 trees that I've removed. As I back up here, so go back, look back up to where we just came from. So this is pretty much the middle of fairway. Your disc is going to be coming through about like this. And as you can see now, you can see these little trees down here. You just have to beat those, and from those little trees to these trees over there, it's a good 25 feet. You just have to make sure your disc is on a hyzer as it comes through there. It's not even that far of a shot. I'm thinking like my Discraft Wasp would get around that corner really nicely. You may want to go something, maybe a T-Bird, something that's going to make it around the corner. Anyways, of course, there's a big risk of OB along that creek. So I don't know. It could also be that putting is what was adding to the scores, because that basket sits kind of right on the edge, and guys may have been getting a little bit aggressive on their putts, and their discs were rolling OB, and that was adding 2 to their stroke by the time they get up and down. So anyways, that's what's going on here. I think that's going to make a huge difference on the hole. And now we get to talk about hole number 12. Here I am on the gold tee box on number 12. And for those of you familiar, here's a quick view of the, who aren't familiar, here's a quick look at the tee pad, or the tee sign. As you can see down here, the goal is to kind of get up into this landing area right here and then kind of get around the corner. It was really hard to get through that because there was about a 10-foot gap there that you had to hit. And once you made that, there's another 10-foot gap up a little bit further. So, and this one typically was seeing a lot of 5s, mostly because people couldn't even get up to the landing zone to take the shot up to the basket. So we looked at several trees to remove. One was this one right here. One was this tree over here. And then finally this tree, which is the one that you see that I took out. So what this is going to give us is a backhand shot where you're coming through here with a little bit of flex. You're going to go up that hill and try and hit that landing zone up there and hopefully not skip too long. So I've kind of been going back and forth on this about the need for the OB on this far side, because no one's going to want to go that far, because it is kind of a natural OB. Here we're coming up on it now. If you go across the top of this hill, there's a good chance that you're going to skip and go down into that OB area. I have a couple of suggestions that people have made. One is to not make it OB at all, even though there's running water there. Maybe just make if it's surrounded by water, it's OB. Not typically a fan of that, because that makes the course play differently in the spring versus summer when water levels vary so dramatically. I really want a consistent par on this course and consistent rules. The second option is to leave it like it is. Third option is to have no OB there at all and just have it be kind of a natural OB, that if you land, say, down in here someplace, which is a likely spot, you're just not going to have much of a good shot to get up that hill and through the gap up there. I'm not a huge fan of that. The other option was to flag the creek on both sides, and then say if you made it across the creek, you'd be inbounds. So it's only if you're kind of in the flagged off creek area that you'd be OB. I'm not a real fan of that either. I think either we make it no OB or we play it like it is, where across that line and beyond is OB, and you get to play from this side. And you actually, if you take a meter off of that creek, most of the way along that creek, you're going to have a reasonable shot, maybe a roller or something to get up there, to get up and down. So there's still a chance that you could salvage your par, for example. So let me know in the comments what you think about that. Those of you who haven't been out here since, say, the Piney Woods, you notice that the mouth of this is much more open now, taking out a couple of trees, and it was just a little bit unfair, I thought, trying to, from back there, it's a pretty tight shot to try and get through there. And then if you can't see that basket and you're just trying to get between that tree and that tree, it was just too tight. Where now you can actually see that, see what you're shooting for. You got a couple different gaps to try and hit depending on if you're lefty or righty, forehand, backhand, whatever. There's some really good scoring opportunities there. So that is the changes on hole number 13. Let me know what you think about that creek.